Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm Maddie Kuhn, a homemade coach and nutritionist, and I am here with Mary. She's a wonderful member who has been with us since November, so just a few months now, but we're celebrating some amazing results with her and going to tell her story today. Thank you so much for joining me, Mary.
You're very welcome. Nice. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so first and foremost, we've got to talk about this amazing thing behind you. She is surrounded by all of her beautiful yarn. She is a weaver, and someone that is always working with her hands and loves to cook, right?
I absolutely love to cook.
That's awesome. That's so great. I think a lot of ladies join our membership and they're like, I cook. I know how to cook. Like, how is this going to switch things up for me? So I think a lot of people are going to be able to relate to your story today. Uh,
Absolutely.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself. You are retired, right?
Yes, I'm a nurse practitioner of many, many years.
Mm.
I actually retired in 2017 at my top weight, by the way, which at that time, I will not say it in public, but it was 212 pounds. Um, and I was facing a hip replacement in 2017. I have since had both replaced. So
Hmm.
the cooking comes into me because I really like the chemistry part of cooking, because to me it's it tells the story of itself, and I really like reading cookbooks that are like novels to me. I like to read. That's why I love y'all's recipes with the little posts above, because I like the
Hmm.
stories of what's behind the recipes. Sorry. Anyway.
No, I love it. That's so great. We put a lot of time and effort into those, so
I'm
that
sure you
means a
do.
lot.
I'm sure you
Yeah, oh
do.
my gosh. Yeah, Lizzie spends a lot of time doing those. So, it's so important to us to share not only the recipes, but why the recipes help you heal your body and like what the food is doing in there, how different ingredients, nutrients help you, improve all of their systems functionality and
Right.
feel better ultimately, right?
Absolutely.
So that's incredible. So you're a retired nurse practitioner. I can think off the top of my head like dozens and dozens of other members that are also retired nurse practitioners. It's something that is like shockingly common, right? Your whole life is spent taking care of other people, and then your health is just like really battered because
Yep.
you're putting yourself last most of the time, right?
Absolutely. When I watched the last live with, I believe is Deborah, I wrote her name down, Corner, who
Yeah,
is
Deborah Corner. She's amazing.
she she was my light bulb in that, because I saw so much of myself in her. I mean, it was
Yeah.
incredible because I also was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. I was in denial. We don't have it in my family. It can't happen to me. I know I'm a little bit overweight, but come on. So let's get rid of the weight, and then my diabetes will just miraculously go away. Well,
Yeah.
it didn't. And
Yeah.
yeah, so I really loved her story. I immediately went in and signed up. I was on monthly, and I went in and upgraded to annual because I'm going to do a commitment. So,
I love that. It's so important to invest in your health. I think a
oh,
lot of us just like it just gets brushed under the rug for years and years and years until it
and when you're
becomes like
71, your
a
health
crisis.
is, you have much more behind you than you have in front of you. And
Yeah.
so it's time to wake up. Yeah, so
Yes.
what I did.
I love that. And I'm so grateful you're here. When were you diagnosed with type 2 diabetes?
So I actually was diagnosed a little bit before I retired. I went
Okay.
and they said, "Oh, it's like the commercial, a touch of diabetes." And I went, "There's no such thing as a touch of diabetes." But I, the medication was not working on me. The weight loss was not working on me. Um, I dabbled with it between 2017 and 2020 when I joined Weight Watchers during COVID, thinking this is my new all do all. I
Yeah.
love the fact nothing off the table. Well, it also didn't work. So the medicine wasn't working, the treatment wasn't working, and I'm sitting here going, I can't lose weight. I can't, and my sugars were all over the board.
Yeah.
So
That's
my biggest waha came to me in 2021, just a couple years ago. It has been a huge life altering event. I was diagnosed, in case you hear my speech be off, I was diagnosed with tongue cancer. And at the time, this is where I get teary, so I apologize.
No, it's okay.
Because my favorite thing in life is cook or eat, sing, and talk. So I was on this verge of that all going away,
Yeah,
and but luckily they got it all. And in the process of that, the surgery, the workup for that was other scans and everything before the surgery to make sure
yeah,
everything was okay. Well, they find a kidney cancer, which we had no idea. I had no symptoms of, but I'm very grateful for the tongue because it showed the kidney. So had the
yeah,
tongue surgery, and man, it did a number on my diabetes because I had to have a feeding tube for 2 weeks. And when you have that, your blood sugars, they gave me steroids, of course, during surgery. Blood sugar skyrocketed 538. So now I'm on insulin. So in denial, no longer can I be on denial for diabetes. And that was my first, where I first connected with endocrinology, and I had to go on insulin with a feeding tube. But luckily, the feeding tube was only 2 weeks. But Glucerna, that stuff shoots your blood sugar sky high.
yeah.
And 3 months later, I ended up having part of my right kidney removed and I got all that. So it's actually, I don't want to sound whiny, but these are all my steps. And the reason I'm outing it is they're all my steps in really realizing I'm blessed, how much I have beat my body up over 71 years, and how I didn't take care of it. And I know better. I'm a medical practitioner. I know better.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's kind of what brought me specifically to here. Was I was still on Weight Watchers, and I liked Weight Watchers initially because I liked the idea of the philosophy and nothing's off the table. But I kept asking them, I don't know what your points mean. Tell me, what am I eating? I'm trying to control my diabetes with food and trying to get, healthy in that respect. And they couldn't answer those questions.
Yeah.
And where it really hit me was you have to track. And at that time, you track your full day and you get extra points for tracking your full day, which the extra points equals more food you can eat. And I remember I went to bed late one night and I was sitting on my toilet, remembering that I did not track. And I'm sitting on my toilet with my phone, tracking my day's things, going, this is nuts,
Yeah.
So that the next day I was on and I saw the commercial from Anna, or the sponsored thing on Facebook from Anna. And I went, I remember her. Maybe this is something I need to do.
Yeah.
and it just hit home. It's so hit what I needed right now from every direction.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, first off, thank you so much for sharing. That is a
The
rough
roller coaster.
couple months. Like, and to have that just jam-packed into such a short period of time, that's really scary. So sorry you experienced that.
Yeah,
I'm very grateful that you're okay. And
I'm happy.
you're,
So
yeah, and you've, gosh, that's a lot of perseverance. So, um, I'm also so grateful that like you've been able to enter our program. Again, you had previously signed up and like it just wasn't the right fit for the right time, but you're here now and you are not only letting go of tracking, you're healing your relationship with food, you're healing your body. So let's talk a little bit about what your experience has been with your results so far, just in these
right,
short few months, right? So November, we have December, January.
right,
It's beginning of February now, so essentially 3 months, right?
right.
Yeah,
Well, so for me, the weight loss is is secondary. It may even be down below that. For me, the primary reason I joined the program was to feel better and to
yeah,
get control of my diabetes, whatever way the nutrition part of it can control it. I know I have to have medication. Luckily, I'm not still on insulin. I was only on insulin for a short time.
that's great.
But we're in the middle of changing that up again now. But one of the things I found almost immediately, and that was the reason that I realized, oh my gosh, this is really real, was I felt like my joints had been oiled. And I don't know how else to describe that. It was,
Yeah,
I mean, I have had both hips replaced. I had a hip replacement also in 2021 before the tongue cancer. Yeah, so it's been, but all of a sudden I could walk without pain. I felt springy almost. I mean, it's hard to describe, but that was
Yeah.
almost immediate. Now I haven't had a lot of weight loss. I think I'm not a scale person because I have found historically that if I get on the scale and I don't move the direction I want, I tend to go, oh well, what the hell?
Yeah.
I'll just go get my chips. If I
Yeah.
if I do get the results, it's like, oh, let's go celebrate. So I tend to, my focus is not the scale, my focus is how I feel. And that's why this program is so key. So I think I've only lost, I think 3, maybe 4 pounds
That's
max.
okay. Yeah.
But my blood sugars, my labs I did in December, so I'm not due again until March. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the results next
Yeah.
month because I think my A1C has been good. But my weight coming into this program was starting to go back up. But I
Yeah.
think that with this, what I love about this program is the recipes. It's like I go grocery shopping in your app,
Yeah.
and I do have trouble with loading a lot of things from the app because they look so good. And Lizzie sends out the survey, and oh, that good. So it's, but they're amazingly easy,
Yeah.
and they're amazingly good. And my
Yeah.
husband is a Texas diehard meat and potato man who needs to lose weight also.
Mm.
So it has just been, so for that, for me, it's been more of a key than how much weight have I lost.
Yeah, totally. I mean, there's
Yeah.
so here's the thing is I think a lot of people enter the program and they're like, how much weight am I going to lose and how quickly? And that's not really the way the program works, right? It's not a deprivation diet. So more on what we focus is like, do you have more energy? If the answer is yes, you're on the right path. Do your joints feel better? Do you have less
Oh,
painful inflammation? The answer is yes, you're on the right path. If you're starting to see that your clothes are fitting a little differently or
right.
a little looser, like then you're on the right path. Because these are all signs that like your body's recalibrating. You have less brain fog, right? You're able to like think more clearly,
Sleeping,
the way better
sleeping
sleep.
better. Yes.
Yes, better moods, right? If you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm not as grumpy, like that's a good sign that like your blood sugars are starting to stabilize because you have more even keeled energy throughout the day and
Right.
you're not getting what we call hangry.
Right.
Um, and so all of those are great signs. I love that you're starting to see some of those because those are like the first telltale signs that your body is like it's experiencing what it needs to feel and do in order to see the results that will happen more long term.
Well,
Um,
I have to laugh because one of the things, and I think I put it in one of my posts, was I have never in my life craved a vegetable or a salad ever. And one day I was driving home from somewhere and I thought, I want that kale, pomegranate, and goat cheese salad. I mean, not only
yes.
did I crave a salad, but it was a kale salad. and I and I got home and I made it and it was so good.
Yes.
And it's almost like your body is saying, thank you. So
Yeah. So this is a cornerstone of the program is learning how to listen to your body. When you start to feed yourself these amazing fiber and nutrients that come in whole natural foods like kale, like whole grains, veggies, fruits, nuts, seeds, legumes, all these things that are so nourishing for your body, then your body starts to recalibrate and it starts telling you exactly what it wants. And so
yes,
you craving this kale salad is a beautiful sign that not only are your hunger and satiety hormones recalibrating and they're becoming, they're starting to work for you instead of against you, it's also your body literally asking for specific nutrients like
yes,
vitamin K, which is excellent for your heart, and this amazing fiber, which is beautiful for helping you stabilize your blood sugars, and antioxidants, which helps fight free radicals in your body and helps prevent cancer in the future. So it's like all these things that are happening. It's so amazing. I think what we get lost on a lot of the time is focusing on like numbers on the scale or like how do I look and not so much like, oh my gosh, like my body needs those nutrients to literally stay alive
live.
and be
Yeah.
and like thrive. And so it's something that's so beautiful to kind of let go of this notion of like, I have to hit this certain weight or I have to do X, Y, and Z. Of course, we can focus on those things as well, but first and foremost, we need to focus on healing. And the best compass to get you there is by how you feel. And so I love that you've let that kind of guide you. And that's just, it's such a huge difference, right? From tracking, sitting there and sitting like entering all those numbers. And so I'd love to just hear
I
a little
was
bit
in
about,
I was
hear
in
about
church
that.
on Sunday and I did have to laugh because it was historically you even have to track your communion. And so I I thought Sunday, I thought, I don't have to track. So,
That's hilarious.
yeah.
You're like, oh my goodness. Yeah, no, it's just, there's some preposterity when it comes to certain things like that.
Yes.
How's your mindset shifted from tracking, and like a lot of stress, like stressful health
Yes.
situations, to like shifting towards healing? How has that been for you?
It's actually been an easy transition for me because what I didn't like when I was on, and I'm not slamming Weight Watchers, I still think it's a good program for those that need that. But you wake up in the morning thinking about food, you think about food throughout the entire day, and the last thing you think about before you go to sleep is what you're going to have for breakfast in the morning. And so literally you don't have time to live your life in the middle of all of that. So that is the one big thing I have really found since I've been on this is it's a joy. There are times when I have forgot. I do like the plan because I live in a food desert, so I have to like get it when I can get it. And I may not have what I need on hand, but I can always find something in the app that I can fix. And I like that I don't have to have it all here. So it's nice to not have to be controlled by that.
Yeah,
It
definitely.
was a big part of the day.
Yeah, it's a lot more freedom.
I can weave more.
Yeah, you can spend time on things you love. Oh my gosh, absolutely. Not to be preoccupied about always like, I'm gonna eat this and that's gonna be this number of like calories and then like or points and then I'm gonna do
Yeah,
this and then I'm gonna eat this. Like I think that there's something to be said just about like, okay, like I'm gonna do a little planning, I'm gonna fix myself some nourishing food and I'm gonna get on with it. I'm gonna go do
get
the other
on.
things that I love to do. And like even for someone like yourself that loves to cook, I think it's so important to like also have like other things that you are looking forward to, have other types of rewards.
Oh,
Um, I think
very
because
much
that's,
so.
yeah, it's like a big part of stepping out of the dieting mindset is like how do you celebrate and how do you reward yourself with other things besides food? Because a lot of us have like the ingrained notion that like, oh, when I celebrate, that's when I get to eat something like naughty or whatever.
Yes.
And it's just it's so crucial to develop a healthy relationship with food. You have to create other pathways that make you feel like amazing and joyful and grounded and thriving, that aren't surrounded by putting something into your mouth. And so I love that you have this other avenue for yourself, and just are able to, I mean, you create these beautiful things. Look at this thing you're wearing. It's gorgeous. I love
Thank
it.
you. Thank you.
Yeah, it's so stunning. So I'm so grateful you have that. And uh it's something that definitely I talk to a lot of members about. It's like, how do you find other things that bring you joy?
Oh,
Um,
and
because
start
it is.
doing it before you hit 71. My advice to the younger folk is to,
Love it.
there is life after work and it can be great life after work, but you do have to
Yeah.
plan for it as well. And so when you
Yeah.
have something that you enjoy that, I still love to bake biscuits. I still have not been able to put spinach in my biscuit
That's okay.
in my gravy.
Yeah, that's okay. There's
My
so many
husband,
other ways. There's so many other ways. I like it's so funny because I remember someone posted me like I'm a Southern girl and I made the biscuits and gravy and like I just don't know and I'm like that's fine, like you keep on making your biscuits and gravy however you want to make them and we can focus on other things. There's a million different ways to do this,
yep,
and to find ways to heal your body. So there's never anything right that's off limits. There's never anything you have
no,
to eat, and your meat and potatoes husband will still like the food.
he has really liked, yes, and he's a big
That's
salt.
incredible. That's
He's
huge.
he's a big salter, and so
Hmm.
because these recipes, I do love the use of the spices that they use are
Yeah.
so good. And
Yeah.
I'm not a salt eater, which is good for my kidneys. I'm not a salt eater.
Yeah.
That's actually a learned flavor, and I wasn't raised with it. And
Hmm.
so we have this meeting of the mind in my house. He knows he has to come with the salt shaker, but he has not been coming with the salt shaker as often. And
Hey.
so I'm quite pleased with that.
That's incredible. Well, I think a lot of that can be attributed to the fact that like when you start cooking with cleaner ingredients in general, um, your taste buds totally shift. And so like the salty and the sweet specifically become really intense.
Exact. Maddie, I can tell you that with all the beautiful recipes that are on there for sweets, I have not, I literally, those are not the ones that I gear towards because they are real. I mean, they're wonderful, but they're too sweet for me. And it
Yeah.
might, that my sweet was the first thing that reset. So I was
Yes.
pleased
Oh
with
my
that.
gosh. I think people with like a major sweet tooth can really like hear
Oh,
that
yeah.
and be like, there's a possibility for me because a lot of people are like, I don't know how that's
Yeah.
gonna happen for me.
Yeah.
You know, they come in and they're like, I'm eating this, and this. Like, I don't think I'll ever be able to give it up. And I'm like, I promise you, give it like a week or two and it'll shift. You'll start to see the
It's
difference. It's really
quick,
happens that quick. Yes.
quick.
And also like I feel like when sometimes we go through phases like the holidays where we start eating a little bit more sweets because they're around and then like kind of check in, you're like, oh, wait, I'm noticing that I'm eating a lot more sweets. And then you spend a week just like kind of like veering away from it and really nourishing your body and you get right back to it.
Yeah,
So
I am
it's,
aware that life will intervene
yeah, yes.
somewhere. I I am not bringing the Cape Cod chips in my house yet, though, because that is a
Mm-hmm.
huge trigger for me. So it's one that, but I will be interested someday. I'll bring them in my house, and they're not going to speak to me, and that's kind of what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I love that. That's incredible. Knowing your trigger foods,
Hmm.
keeping them at a distance for a little bit of time while your body recalibrates and heals, and you're working on your relationship with food.
Yep.
I think that's really, really smart. That's something definitely to be like recognized. It's pretty amazing, that you have that like self-awareness, but also that, you're not like beating yourself up about it. You're just like, I'm
Oh,
not gonna have that here. And in the future, I might try them again and that will be that. It's not gonna be like a big epic fail or like a win
yes.
if you don't eat them and they're in our house. It's just like it just is. It's just chips and that's it.
Yep. Well,
So
the fact that I don't even really think about them, I think, is monumental to me.
huge.
Because I
It's
would always
huge.
think about where am I going to celebrate with my favorite foods, and
Ah,
I'm no longer
yes.
doing that, and so
Yeah.
because that's not the height of my existence at this point.
No, it's yeah, and it's okay if it happens every now and again, but
Hmm. And
it's
it
not
will.
like the goal. The goal is
Right.
not to get to that specific like treat,
Right.
right? I love that. Well, it's been such a nice time chatting with you, Mary.
Oh,
I'm
I
so
enjoyed
grateful
it,
for
Maddie.
you. Thank you for hopping on with us
I hope your
today.
little one feels better too.
Oh, thank you so much. All right, y'all, we're signing off.